Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to read a story to you about Santa, that jolly old fellow who runs around in red and white, who lives at the North Pole. You know the one. But today I'm going to read you a story called When Santa Turned Green by Mirna Kantarevics. Let's find out why Santa turns green. When Santa Turned Green by Victoria Perla. It was just November, but Santa's factory was already in full gear. The elves could feel each day getting busier and busier. Mail was stacking up, with notes from good girls and boys. The buzz of Christmas was starting to build. That's when something really crazy happened. Was it a jam in the die-cast car cranker? A sprung sprocket in the mini doll maker? Nope, it was a drop. A simple, solitary drop of water. Plop! From the ceiling onto Santa's nose. Santa pulled on his boots and climbed up to the roof of his snowy workshop to investigate. A leak! But that wasn't the only problem Santa discovered that night. The snow was melting. On the North Pole! The land of permanent freeze was getting soggier by the minute. Now this was a real problem. How could winter be winter without the cold? And how could Christmas be Christmas if it weren't dressed in white? Santa had to get to the bottom of things, and to do so, he climbed to the top. The tippy top of the polar ice cap. When Santa got there, he couldn't believe his eyes. The ice caps were shrinking in size. Glaciers were slipping into the sea. That night, Santa thought, "If I can pull off presents for every child around the world in one single eve, surely there's something I can do about this." So he hopped into his sleigh and set out to get some answers. Santa learned that this wasn't a new problem at all. It had been building up for a very long time. Over the years, we earthlings have been chopping down our forests and pumping something called carbon dioxide into the sky. It comes from our cars, our planes, our factories, even our chopped down trees. And now there's so much of it floating around Earth's atmosphere, it's acting like a big blanket holding in the heat of our planet, which makes temperatures go up, up, up. Scientists call it global warming. And when temperatures go up, our ice caps melt down. Global warming? Santa wondered if this task was too big for even him to tackle. But Christmas and the planet, the future depended upon it. So Santa went straight to the future to solve it. Did he jump into a time machine and warp himself to the next millennium? No, he went to the real future, to you and your sisters and brothers and friends. That's right, he went to the children because they have the power to change the world. Santa knows the world's children better than anybody, how smart they are and how good they are. Remember, he's been checking that list a long time. But most of all, he knows that when a child believes, miracles happen. And this time, the world needed a huge miracle. Can you imagine the commotion it caused to see Santa so early? Reindeer prints in November? Sleigh bells at Thanksgiving? But it wasn't toys that Santa was delivering. It was a call for help, a message to the children that they needed to take action. And in return, the children gave Santa the greatest gift he ever received. They made lots of little changes, which made a world of difference. Dylan walks to school, less fuel, more time to talk about life. Allie convinced Grandpa to buy a hybrid. Julia composts and recycles everything possible. She slashed her family's trash in half. Lindsay ditched disposable lunch containers for the reusable kind. Katie started a school recycling program. Paul plans to invent new energy sources. Eric actually turns off lights when he leaves a room. Ella picks toys that don't have to be shipped from far away. And Kiri plants a tree every month. Even Santa made changes, from energy-efficient lighting to wind and solar power for his factory. Not to mention the green Santa suits he asked Mrs. Claus to sew, for when he rides his sleigh round the world making environmental checks on the planet. He wears one every night, except, of course, Christmas Eve. It took time, but after many years of persistence, the blanket hanging around the planet thinned out to something more like a breezy curtain. The Earth's heat was finally able to slip off into space, giving the glaciers, trees, oceans, and the environment a much-needed breath of fresh air. As for Santa, his roof doesn't leak anymore, thanks to the help of almost 2 billion children, just like you. Thank you for listening. And now I'd like you to think about ways you can help keep the Earth clean. Remember, every day is Earth Day.